Danny Masterson, best known for his role as Hyde in that 70s show, has just been sentenced to 30 years. And if you don't know what he got sentenced to 30 years for, it was for committing the R word, which I'd rather not say on YouTube, against two women. Well, he's been found guilty for a little while now, but he just got sentenced as an hour, 2 hours ago, to 30 years in prison. And hey, thank God, rightfully so. Now, yes, if you didn't know, I've done 10 years in prison myself. And when I say things like that, some people are like, oh man, you were an inmate. You're a former inmate. You sound like you're the police now or something. What, are you glad someone got time? Yeah, I am glad they got time. I mean, what he did is hard. Listen, I did what I did back in the day. If you don't know, I committed 2 armed robberies about a decade ago, and I got a decade in prison. I did my time. I served my debt, and he's got his time, and he's going to have to serve his debt. And then also people will say, well, how can, who are you to wish any harm on this guy in prison or any type of prison justice from these other inmates to mess him up real good for what he's in there for? I mean, just because you're not in there for, what the type of stuff he did, what you did isn't exactly okay. You're right. And let me tell you something, Buster. Over those 10 years, I've had a chunk bitten out of my chest. I've had my jaw nearly broken. I've had knives to my neck. Heck, I've even had a few teeth knocked out. Okay. But trust me, I took my lumps, and he's going to have to take his. Or is he? Is anything really going to happen to Danny Masterson in prison? Let me give you my opinion from my experience and my perspective. So it's interesting. I've already covered this kind of about Danny Masterson as part of a bigger video that had several celebrities who were either in or heading to prison a few months ago, back when he first got found guilty, but he hadn't been sentenced yet. So I'm just going to recap some of that and give a little extra because I've learned a little bit more from looking into this since then. So number one, and this may be something a lot of you don't want to hear, but I just want to throw this out here. And this isn't the answer as to what's going to happen to him. But as far as his charge, what he did and who he did it to, is that something that, from my experience, is that something that just enrages inmates? No. I'm sure there's people in there, there's men in there, depending on their morals and where they draw the line, that it's not going to sit well with. They're not going to look at that very nicely or kindly compared to just anything else you could be in there for. But it's not going to get the same type of this burning hate, from all the inmates when they look at Danny, as if it was something, instead of 2 adult women, if it was 2 little girls. And that's just a fact. That's just the way it is in there. For example, there's plenty of guys in there who are in there for high and aggravated nature, CDV, criminal domestic violence charges, or just habitual offender, repeat offender. They've had so many CDV, criminal domestic violence charges, that they've had to get prison time for it, when usually that wouldn't end in prison time. So although that's not exactly what Danny Masterson did, that's never looked down upon by the inmates that I've been around in South Carolina State Prison. And I'm sure that's the case many places. I mean, people it is what it is. That's not something they like, let's get him, he hits women. It's just not. That's not something these inmates really care about that bad. The one thing that's really going to get these inmates fired up and want to really get you because of what you did is when it involves children. But what he did, it is pretty, of course, it's more extreme than just getting in a tussle with your girlfriend. And you got to understand, things work different ways in different prisons. I can tell you how things work in my prison, but the prison he goes to, it may be completely different. So I try to look into what some notable, credible creators who make prison content from their experience, what they're saying, because they've been to prisons in California. I haven't. I'm in South Carolina. And the way it works here, I don't think he would really have any issues. I don't, as far as, because of what you're in here for, we're going to get you. I think it's more likely he'd have issues because you're famous, you got a lot of money, we want some of that money, and you're probably not that tough of a guy. I mean, you're not tough compared to us. That's what these guys be thinking. And he's not. And they're going to want that money. They don't care about what he did. Just from the guys I've been around, they're not. Well, yeah, whatever. They may use that as an excuse just to extort them. Oh, Angie did that to women. Oh, okay. Well, guess what, Buster? But they would have extorted him no matter what he was in there for. Shoplifting, you're getting extorted because you're a freaking millionaire. You're a famous actor. No matter how much money you truly have, I don't know. I don't. But these guys in prison, you're famous. You're a celebrity, Mr. Hollywood. We've seen you on TV. We're going to assume you got $100 million. So you're going to give us something. That's just, you can't tell us you don't have any money. We're not going to believe it, because that's just the idea of a Hollywood celebrity. You got money. And I'm sure he does. He's got enough money to be valuable to these dangerous inmates in prison, to where that's the thing. No matter how they feel about it out there in California, what he did, would they rather get their hands on him and mess him up real bad, maybe even kill him, or hospitalize him, do something to where, of course, he's going to be taken out of that cell block and they'll probably never see him again because of whether he lives or doesn't after what they do to him, just assuming they do something to him for that. Is it worth just know, hey, I can go to sleep knowing I got him. Old Danny, Mr. 70s show. I got him. Yeah, but you could have had, $10,000 a month from him for the next 30 years or however, until he runs out. Who knows? Is that, you see what I'm saying? These inmates don't care more about getting, especially because, I'm sorry, but because it doesn't involve little children, it's not going to fuel that burning hate the way, that it would if it was little kids involved. And I don't think that they're going to prioritize just messing him up because of what he did to these women, as bad and as awful as it is. And as much as they're probably not going to respect it and like it and just kind of you piece of crap, I don't think it's going to outweigh the benefits, the dollar signs in their eyes that they see, because these guys probably don't have anything. These guys are always looking for their next dollar, always looking for how they're going to have their next meal, always looking for how they're going to make a quick buck and just kind of sustain for the next month. These guys are living week to week, day to day, and they're looking for any and every come up and hustle off the next inmate that they can. And when they see a weak guy like DannyMasterson, who has, he is not from this lifestyle at all. He has no idea. He is totally new, green, and naive to this lifestyle. And he comes in there, and you got these guys been in there 10, 15, 20, 25 years. And they've been extorting tougher guys than Danny with less money. Oh, their palms are itching to extort him and get some money from him. That's my opinion. A lot of prison creators will kind of embellish and exaggerate things because they know that's what people want to hear. But you kind of just got to take things with a grain of salt. There are, for as many cases of people who by all means should have got messed up by now and haven't, there are just as many who we see who are celebrity, high profile, stuff like that. And there's a lot of inmates who are high profile getting messed up lately. Larry Nassar, that one guy who was in that band, that singing boy band, whatever, and he did something to women. He got messed up. It happens. It may take years. It may take 3, 4, 5, 10 years. It happens, and it can happen, and it can happen to Danny. It may not happen day one as soon as he sets foot in there. I feel like that's what a lot of people expect, but these things take time. So, it's hard to call something cut and dry and black and white. This is going to happen or this ain't going to happen in prison. There's so many guys in there. You can't predict. You can't predict what the next man, all it takes is one man. You could have 99 guys not care and just want some money from him. You could have one guy because of what he's been through in life or something what Danny did triggers him in a way that it doesn't trigger anyone else. And he has nothing to lose, nothing to live for. He's never getting out of prison. He wants to get them, and he gets them. And that's all it takes. And you can't predict. I can't sit on here and tell you this will happen or it won't when it's that volatile. So wanted to make sure I threw that out there, all the disclaimers. But me personally, after everything you've heard, if you'd like my opinion, if I had to bet my bottom dollar on something here as far as what's going to happen or not happen to him, I don't think he'll get messed up because of what he did. I think he will get extorted, and I think he will cooperate with that, whoever's doing the extortion. And I think he's gonna skate by like that until he does something. That could always change if he just goes in there and acts very stupid. He doesn't carry himself correctly. He goes in there and disrespects just the dumbest things you could do. Yeah, it's over with. But that doesn't mean it happened because of what he did. You see? I think he'll be all right as long as he pays that money. As long as he's valuable to the guys who are powerful and dangerous, then he'll be fine. And when he's useless to the guys who are powerful and dangerous, there is no reason for anyone to hold back anymore. So I think it's up to him. Is he going to be useful or useless? His choice. Thanks for watching.